Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Raiti from Raiti's Rise. We're back here at Clearwater Toyota, and guess what? It's last call. Last call for what, you're asking? This vehicle right here. This is it. This is a 2026 end of the road for the Toyota Supra, this GR Supra, the 5th gen Supra. But before we get into this rear-wheel drive manual, 6-speed manual equipped Supra, let's talk about what's going on here. So you heard correctly, it's last call for this 5th generation, the Supra. And it's been an interesting generation, to say the least. When it was unveiled all the way back in 2019 at the Detroit Auto Show, there were a lot of fans that were disappointed because of that heavy connection between Toyota and BMW. The car being built in Austria, overseen by BMW, people felt it didn't have that 2JZ magic that the 4th gen really created. Now, what is replacing it is still unknown. There is no hard evidence of another generation of the Supra coming anytime soon. So what I want to find out is, if you've been wanting one of these 5th gens, but you've also been eyeballing some other performance rear-wheel drive vehicles, like the Mustang GT and the Nissan Z, do you go with this end of the line of the 5th gen Supra? Why don't we go ahead, let's dive into this one and see if we can find out. Right off the bat, the color. It's called Absolute Zero, and it's got this beautiful pearlescent white finish to it. Some angles it almost looks like a flat white, but when the sun hits it right, it sparkles like a diamond. Now, the front of the business, this was all part of that big heated discussion, was the style. I really think that they nailed the headlight housing super well with all those LED headlights, your daytime running lamp, and your turn signal. I wish they would have kept it like that instead of have the extension, because to me, that kind of mimics in a good way what the 4th gen headlight style was like, just to give it that connection. But where they really lost me was with all the fake vents. So you had that massive fake corner vent, and that's just the start of a big, huge zonk that I have to give the Mk5 Supra. It's the fake vents. What I do love, though, is how they integrated that lower lip splitter, especially the way it curves up to form a canard on the edge to give us that extra downforce. And the combination of the Absolute Zero with the black really gives it that nice yin and yang flavor to it. Now, as we come across the front end, you can see the design interpretation from that prototype that they had, that concept many years ago, but it's fully functional in the center, that flat black grille. You'll notice that big old splitter in the center. The look definitely grew, not only on me, but I know on a lot of other people as well when it came to the style. I wish they would have tweaked the fake vents just a little bit. But let me know what you think about the face now that it's the end of the road, the last year, especially if you're comparing this to a Mustang GT or a Nissan Z. Believe it or not, the Mustang GT has fake vents as well. So Nissan Z doesn't. That's the one car that does not out of the 3. Now, as we rise up, I love that low slung hood, the way that the body line actually starts on the nose where the Toyota badge is and then flows up and over the edge of the hood, because the hood is also part of the front fenders. Now, when we come around the bend, what are we working with? Wheel and tire. I love this multi-spoke, 10-spoke, almost like a samurai sword design of a wheel with the blade, each blade being a separate spoke. You're going to have your performance calipers up front with the Toyota name, with the Supra script. Rotors are over 14 inches in diameter, 19-inch wheel, and of course, we have them wrapped in those Michelin Pilot Sport tires. The tire size is going to be 235 on the width, and then you have that nice sidewall there going. Actually, I was right the first time. You know, you ever been told trust your gut? My gut said 255. I should have just went with it. So 255 on the width, and then you have a nice 35 series sidewall. and of course, specially tuned suspension just for the GR Supra to separate it from the driving experience of the same platform, which remembers the BMW Z4. Now, as we come down the side, there's that hood. It's also top of the fender. There's that fake vent. So that's another area that just kind of irks me. That would have been a beautiful heat exchanger for the power plant underneath the hood. You have that really fast, slick back design. The gloss black painted A-pillars matches nicely with our Absolute Zero. You have Absolute Zero on your door handles, and then you got a big old fake vent. It would have been so much nicer to I want to rip this part off and just have it come smooth into the rear fender. Why does it got to do that? I have no idea. And I know, yes, don't put in the comment section, I know, Toyota says all the vents can be made functional. I got that. I'm picking up what they're putting down, but I feel like they should have been functional from the factory and get rid of some of the other ones. Now, as we come towards the rear, you got a little bit of a quarter window. This portion looks really good to me as it goes into the rear of the vehicle. Speaking of the rear, 19-inch wheels still in diameter, but now we got 285 on the width, 30 series sidewall, and of course, a limited slip diff to get the power to the ground. Spinning around back, this is where I just want to rub myself all over this car. Love that nice flared fender as it comes to the rear. That integrated ducktail spoiler, functional. And then of course, you're gonna have that good looking, they did a good job on the lighting. Great job on the tail lights. Even the way they did the rear diffuser area coming off the back. And then with this being that 3-liter turbocharged engine, you have that nice stainless steel tip, dual outlet exhaust. It is an active exhaust. You can make it a little louder, make it a little quieter. This rear diffuser that looks off like it's off a Le Mans Toyota prototype car. That's just ridiculous in the way it looks. And then love the way the Supra name pops right off the rear of the car. I mean, look at that. And then of course the GR badge. Remember, GR stands for Gazoo Racing, which is the performance arm of Toyota. But why don't we go ahead, we talked about the outside, let's go pop the hood and talk about power, comparing it to the Mustang and the Nissan Z. All right guys, we got the hood popped. Like I said, cool to see how the top of the fender goes with the hood, and then the part that stays, they put a little bit of a Toyota Supra Easter egg over there. You'll notice good looking engine cover, a little bit of red for the Gazoo Racing, and then you also have your bracing to stiffen up the front end of the vehicle. But what is underneath that cover? Is there anything? Yes. There is a 3-liter straight 6 turbocharged engine. Single turbo, not a twin turbo. It puts out 382 horsepower, 368 pound-feet of torque. You can get an 8-speed automatic, but guess what? Ha ha ha, we have the 6-speed manual. If you know how to do the dance on your twinkle toes, 0 to 60 in 3.7 seconds, quarter mile in 12.1 seconds, top speed 160 miles per hour, MPGs 19 in the city and 26 on the highway. So great to see a straight 6. I mean, that kind of puts it in alignment with the Mark IV generation, but it's a single turbo, and of course it is BMW derived. But is that necessarily a bad thing? Let's fire it up and hear what it sounds like. All right, guys, we're inside this 2026, the last of the line of this GR Supra. Now, I know you're probably saying to yourself, well, Joe, all right, you got me. I was a hater at first. I was going all over the interwebs and bashing it and bashing Toyota. I've kind of gotten over it, and I'm kind of sad now that the Toyota's Supra is meeting its demise. But I'm also looking at the Mustang GT and the Nissan Z for my next performance vehicle. but I really am glad you're reviewing this because I want to give it one more try. One more try. So how much is it, Joe? Very good question. And thank you for owning up to what you did back in 2019. MSRP for this one is right at $61,000. Let's see what you get when you go Supra to the door panels. I do like that clean style, and that's definitely something from BMW. It's a nice clean style. The door panel, you do have the JBL premium sound system, nice looking speaker grill covers there. And the good news is it's not just gloss black around the switchgear. That's actually a metallic black that hides fingerprints fairly well. Soft touch on the armrest with some nice white contrast stitching. Door pocket is super tight. So maybe just one chili dog from Checkers and that's about it. Going from the door panel to the dash, I like the continuation of the material, the stitching. Slide on in, you got that BMW derived 8.8-inch infotainment system. Is it perfect? No. Does it annoy me that it's just a floating iPad style? Yes, but it does have all of the things that you need and want from your infotainment system, and it's very easy to use, which is nice. Let me throw it into reverse here with our manual. It's a little small on the screen, but it is very clear on the resolution, and you got the trajectory lines. So you're good to go there, and then you just hit home and you're right back to where we started. Working our way down, you have a real volume knob. This is all BMW switchgear. I like the silver start-stop button. Dual climate control is really nice. I just shut off the climate control, turn it back on. Just heated seats. 3 stages of heated seats, no ventilated seats. The only car you could get that we're talking about that has ventilated seats is going to be a Mustang GT. And that's if you get the optional seat package. Down below, we do have a wireless charging. I like the way you have this cover here to hold the phone in place, or you could rest another phone on top of it and use the USB-A. There's a 12 volt for a radar detector. Somebody clean up on aisle 6. Somebody spilled a bucket of carbon fiber. I do love that. You have that direct drive control knob, obviously BMW derived. This though is the magic. 6-speed manual transmission, unique gearing to the GR Supra. And I love the way it's got that nice gear pattern, short throw shift. And then another thing I love about the Supra, you just have one mode, sport. You hit the sport button and you go into sport mode. That's it. That's all you need. Soft touch with the stitching. The only place I guess to put the cup holders was here, so you really don't have much real estate for your arm. Seats are great. I love the look. Nice bolstering, soft touch, the Alcantara, the red stitching, electric assist on the passenger side, electric assist on the driver's side. And then if you move the seat, which I don't know if I'll be, yes, I can do it from where I'm sitting here. So I'm gonna move the seat for Lori, and she's gonna be able to show you behind the seat, you actually do have some good cubby space back here. So you can see the speakers, and then it's easy to reach back here for whatever you need, and you got a place where you can put 4 Twinkies. So they got you covered there. But why don't you go ahead, get your booty over here. I wanna show you behind the wheel in this GR Supra. All right guys, business time behind the wheel. This is the one thing you're not gonna like. Getting in and out of this and sitting in it, the way that they curve the roof line down makes it a little claustrophobic in here. I'm fine because I don't mind, but I know that this is gonna be that one deciding factor that may make the Supra or break the Supra for you, especially if you're comparing it to a Z or the Mustang GT, because neither of those two have that problem. I like the aluminum sill plate. It is aluminum. Here, I'll show you a little bit there. Nice aluminum sill plate, and it does say Toyota Supra, doesn't say BMW, ha ha ha. And then the pedal box, perfect. Nice aluminum clutch, brake, and throttle. You do have plenty of room to do your own heel-toe downshifting. My only zonk is I wish that that was an aluminum dead pedal. And don't worry, if you don't know how to heel-toe downshift, it can do it for you when you are rolling through the gears. I'm 6 feet tall. Like I said, this part is tough, but the rest of it, I feel good in here. And I can sit with a helmet in here. I've done it. Steering wheel, it reminds me of a bumper car from when I was a kid. Not so much the outside of the wheel, the leather and the stitching, this. Hate this horn button. I hate it with a passion. I want to throw it and then I want to rip it off and then throw it like a Frisbee. But I do like the flat black on the switchgear. It is a manual tilting and telescoping wheel. And then of course you do have your digital gauge cluster with that tach. Right now I'm in sport. So here's non-sport and then here's sport. So you can see how the tach changes just a little bit. The needle becomes red. It shows the red line a little bit clearer. So that's what you get. No head-up display. But it is very well organized in here. But we're gonna show you the cargo because I wanna compare it to the other two. And then you know what we're doing, right? What are we doing? We're going on throttle in this Supra. All right guys, time to get into the cargo area. I'm gonna do it the cool way. I got the key fob, pop it like it's hot, flip it up. You actually have a decent amount of storage in here. You have about 10 cubic feet of space. And that's the thing is you could have your small sports car and you could also get the groceries as well. One of my other things that I love that I'm gonna have Lori kind of swing around to the other side is they put that strut tower brace in the rear as well. So we're stiffening up the front of the vehicle and the rear of the vehicle all at the same time. But why don't we go ahead, let's get to the good part. Let's roll through some gears in this GR Supra. All right guys, we left Clearwater Toyota. We're inside the final year of the GR Supra. I do have it in sport mode, of course. And right away, what you're gonna find is that this car is really well designed when it comes to handling. The car is like wrapped around you in a very good way. And yes, it is a little bit claustrophobic, more claustrophobic in here than a Nissan Z, and definitely more so than a Mustang GT. But if you're looking for a true sports car, there's nothing like a rear-wheel drive two-seat sports car, and this car does out-handle both the Mustang GT and the Nissan Z. Love the simple but effective instrumentation. I even like the way it's got a physical bezel to the tachometer. Just a nice touch. Pedal box is good even if you have big feet like myself. I wear a size 12. And the placement of the shifter, same story. Very, very good placement. It does feel a little rubbery like other BMW gearboxes. And what I mean by that is that it's not a nice like click, click, click from gear to gear to gear. But you do have automatic rev match downshifting. Got the performance brakes to help shed speed. Are you ready? I'm ready. On throttle, here we go. Nice. You're gonna like how connected you feel to this car. That's the plus. The negative and the zonk is that it does have piped in sound through the speakers. And it is that higher sort of pitch sound that doesn't really jive well with what's happening outside with the exhaust. So that is a little bit of a bummer. But if you could get past that, I think you're gonna be really enjoying just how well this car handles. And the 6-speed does shift very smoothly. It's not notchy whatsoever. But visibility out the front is just fine. The side mirrors help with the blind spots. And I love looking in the rearview mirror and seeing the ducktail spoiler being kicked up there. But it's actually a very smooth, comfortable car, even with its, obviously, its performance pedigree. But the handling, the feedback is what really works so well with the handling. You don't have a bunch of body roll. Getting to the 8.8 inch infotainment system is well within reach. It does not block the vision out the windshield. I could actually do without the infotainment system altogether. I mean, I wish there was a way to just remove it. But I love the pops and bangs coming out of the exhaust. Here we go. On throttle. On those brakes. Yeah. Nice. And it does a good job letting you know exactly how much traction you have, whether it be up front or what the rear of the car is doing. And with that electronic limited slip diff, it gets the power to the ground very, very effectively. But this thing is just a freaking hoot to drive. And I just, like I said, I feel like it just didn't get the love that it deserved because of the connection with BMW. You ready? One more time. On throttle! Seats are great, hold you into place well. And like I said, I've driven this car with a helmet, and being 6 feet tall with a helmet on, I still had plenty of room up top. But the steering is very direct. Even though the steering wheel's ugly as can be, it's very direct, very quick reacting. Nice. But I hope that this has been a good overall review of this GR Supra. The last year, this is it. We're gonna get back to Clearwater Toyota and wrap this one up. So I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, always a good day when we get behind the wheel of something special. And you know what? It's the last generation, the last year of the Mk5 of the Supra until who knows when. But let me know what you think. First, we got to thank Chris and the rest of the crew here at Clearwater Toyota getting us one of the last. This is one of the last before they end production. But let me know what you think. You going Supra, you going Mustang GT, or you going Z? How are you spending your manual transmission, rear-wheel drive money? Let me know in that comment section. But if you're new to the channel, you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raised family. Got to give it to LGR. She loves the fact that this has a manual, but she would actually go Mustang GT. So, see, there's something for everybody out there. But thank you, Lori, for your hard work. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.